Hello, this is your teacher Manish, and today in this video I am going to talk about project life cycle. Just to catch up what we have spoken till now, we have spoken about project management, its constraints, we have seen the challenges till now, and in last video we have seen whether project management is science, art, and I said that project management is both science and art, and it's also business leadership. Okay, so in this video we are going to speak about what is project life cycle. Let's understand it. So the very first phase is the project initiation phase. Let me tell you, it is one of the most important phase in overall project management life cycle, and one would say why is that? Because typically planning and execution would be important phases, but my experience has shown that if your initiation phase is well organized, and if your initiation phase is attended by all the stakeholders, if you have a proper communication done about the project and its goals in the initiation phase, you are likely to be successful in your planning and execution phase. Okay, so let me give or more details, get into more details about it. So before starting the project, obviously project manager is identified, stakeholders like customer is known because he is going to be the sponsorer. Okay, apart from that, team members, team leaders, different based on the technology, architects, infrastructure guys, so the entire project team gets identified. Okay, now this project team may be people working in an organization, or this project team might have members working from different organizations. Okay, because we have already spoken about multi-vendor, multi-party kind of environment, and when it is a multi-vendor, multi-party kind of environment, you have numerous people, numerous stakeholders who are going to contribute directly into the progress of the project. Okay, and if we can manage to get all relevant stakeholders on a single platform to understand about what a project is and what are they going to do in next few months, okay, or weeks during the life cycle of the project, it helps a lot, because that's where you set proper goals in front of them. You tell them what is the high level timeline, you tell them what are the commitments, and you indirectly get them signed by blood that they are committed to work with you as a project manager and deliver the project. And once the entire team comes on same page, it becomes very easy to take the project to conclusion. Okay, so initiation phase, according to me, plays a very critical role. During the initiation phase, the high level plan is known in terms of what's the schedule, what are the commitments, what is the high level scope, because anyway those things come as an expectation from customer during the bid project itself. Because if you go through IT tenders, information technology tenders across the world which gets floated, they have mentioned those tenders would have high level requirements, those tenders would have high level timeline spelled out very clearly. Okay, so your initial planning, okay, will be based on whatever has been clearly mentioned in the tender. Your initial planning will also be based on whatever response your organization has given against that tender, because based on your response to the tender, you are awarded the project. Okay, so in the initiation phase, you are actually presenting all the stakeholders what are the commitments that are done as a part of response to IT tender. Okay, and it is very, very important because you have been awarded the project based on those commitments, and once everybody understands those commitments, it becomes pretty simple. Okay, so initiation phase is at a high level, or to summarize, is getting all stakeholders on single platform, making them aware of what commitments are in terms of scope, in terms of timeline, okay, making them aware what they are expected to do, what is their role. Okay, so all these things you actually make them aware of. Okay, then comes the planning phase. As I said, the initial planning is already there as a part of the response to IT tender, but now a detail level planning starts. Okay, and the detail level planning actually comprises of documenting the entire process in terms of how are you going to execute this project, what are the steps you are going to take, what are the resources that you will require. Resources could be manpower in terms of skills, resources could be non-manpower in terms of infrastructure, licensed softwares, tools. So you lay down the entire strategy in terms of how are you going to take this project to conclusion. So planning phase will have an output in terms of project plan, which is nothing but probably a standard Word document or a PDF, and every project plan will have contents based on the quality standard followed by that organization. So it would have scope laid down, it would have objectives, it would have commitments in terms of high level milestones, it would have infrastructure requirement, it would have quality gates that we are going to follow, it would have methodology in terms of whether we are going to follow a pure waterfall model or whether we are going to follow object oriented methodology, what are going to be the list of deliverables in each phase, who is the approval authority, what is going to be the escalation plan, okay, what is going to be the communication plan, what are going to be the progress reports, okay, reporting strategy. All this is going to be laid down in this document, which becomes a Bible for your execution team to follow and execute the project. So every team member within that project should go through the project plan, which is laid down very comprehensively. Everybody who is a part of that project should know what the entire project plan is and what is the role that they are playing in that plan. Okay, so we saw initiation, we saw a planning phase. The output of planning phase is of course a detailed project plan. Many a times planning phase actually is more or less done when during the initiation phase itself, so that when all the stakeholder comes together, the part of project plan can be presented to them. And once this planning phase is done, you have the project team actually executing the project, which means every team member who has been identified to do certain activities start playing the role. Okay, and the execution obviously is not going to be a day or two kind of execution. It's going to be few weeks, few months kind of execution, where your project goes through different life cycle. Okay, and everybody playing the role based on their skills in the life cycle, based on whatever they are assigned for. And during the execution phase, you will find your project manager as a part of project management activities, monitoring and controlling. He or she would be monitoring the entire progress of the project. So there could be daily stand-ups as a part of scrums, there could be as a part of agile methodology, okay, there could be daily assignment of tasks, there could be daily progress noting, okay, and the entire progress gets captured sometimes as a part of tool, sometimes as a part sometimes manually, and the progress is communicated, okay, to the senior management, whether we are on time, whether we are having some delays, whether we have any risks that we have which we have identified has occurred now, whether there are any issues, okay, which need senior management intervention, so that relevant people come as a part of escalation and resolve the issues for project team. And this escalation metrics, everything is laid down in the project plan, okay. So monitoring and controlling is typically, you might have say if it's a large project, say 50 plus people or 100 plus people, multiple parties, then monitoring and controlling typically happens through project management office. So you might have few individuals working as a part of project management office who takes daily reporting, who fills the data, captures the data, data based on which the progress of progress is reported to the senior management, based on which actually whatever measures they start capturing, if there is anything which needs replanning, if there is anything which needs improvements to be made in existing activities that are getting done, those steps would be taken. So initiation, planning, execution is an ongoing phase until you deploy the software which has been accepted by the customer. It goes through the warranty period, and then comes the closure phase. Okay, the way initiation is important, similarly please note that closure is also very important. My experience, I have been part of many project closure exercises or project closure meetings. Okay, this is the time when you actually do the introspection of the entire life cycle that you have executed. You try to see, you try to find out what worked well for you, what didn't work so well for you. Okay, this is a comprehensive document which gets prepared based on the experiences of the people who were part of planning and execution, and a closure report feeds back into the quality management system of the organization, such that whatever learnings that have been noted in closure report, please note, please hear it carefully. Whatever learnings that have been noted in closure report, those learnings are fed back into the standards that are laid down as a part of quality management system, so that in future when similar kind of project, the project which we have executed, if similar kind of project comes and people start executing the similar kind of project, although project team is different, okay, because of the closure report, because of the documentation of the learning, what happens is the new team actually doesn't do the same mistakes which this team has done. And this is how the maturity of the organization happens. Okay, you are not people dependent. You have a process in place which has captured all the details such that process gets matured the more and more projects we execute. So initiation phase, which is very important, so is closure phase, and please keep this in mind. Okay, now quick recap what happens. Okay, we have a plan. As I said, plan is a detailed document. Then we perform the tasks, then we measure the progress, And once when we are measuring the progress, we are actually comparing actual versus the baseline. Okay, if there is any deviation, we take corrective actions such that the replanning takes place. And this is the ongoing process, ongoing thing until you deploy the project, until it gets accepted by the customer, until the warranty is finished and a closure reporting happens, a closure meeting happens. Once the closure is done, project gets officially closed. So as I said in my first video, every project has got a start and end date. A start date is at the time when the initiation happens, the end is at the time actually you delivered it, and after that you have a closure in place. So you should also plan formally for closure. Okay, I hope guys you understood the importance of each phase in project life cycle. We would be getting into details of planning phase, we would be getting into details of monitoring and control in terms of what metrics we collect. Okay, and that's it. If you like this video, please like it, share it. Okay, and in next video I will be taking you through project framework. Bye till now.